I died choking on my own blood. The taste of betrayal as metallic as the knife my sister plunged into my gut. 1 second. I'm gasping on the cold tile of our family kitchen, her manicured nails digging into my shoulder as she whispers, "You should have stayed out of it, Brookie," and the next, nothing. Blackness. Then, a jolt like lightning through my veins. And I'm back. 28 years old again. Staring at my reflection in the bathroom mirror of the same goddamn house in suburban Chicago. The date on my phone screaming June 15th, 2018. Alive. Whole. And seething with a rage that could burn this whole city down. It started innocently enough. Or so I'd told myself back then. A family barbecue in the backyard. The kind where Dad fires up the grill with that forced enthusiasm. Mom sips Chardonnay like it's holy water. And my sister, Emily, floats around like she's the queen of the cul-de-sac. I was 25, fresh out of my marketing job at that soul-sucking ad agency downtown, crashing at home while I figured out my next move. Emily? She was 27, engaged to that sleazeball Chad from her finance firm, the one with the veneers that gleamed like he was auditioning for a toothpaste commercial. Their wedding was the event of the summer, hell, of the decade in our little slice of Elmwood Heights. I remember the moment like it's etched in acid on my brain. We're all gathered on the patio. Fairy lights twinkling against the dusk. Burgers sizzling. And Emily's beaming that perfect smile as she holds up a key fob like it's the goddamn holy grail. Mom, Dad, Chad, and I. "We have news," she chirps. And then they drop it, a down payment on a starter home in the next suburb over. A cute craftsman with a white picket fence and a yard big enough for the 2.5 kids they were already planning. My parents, bless their biased hearts, had liquidated some investments, nothing huge. Just enough to give their golden child a leg up into adulthood. "It's what family does," Dad said, clapping Chad on the back like he'd just won the Super Bowl. And me, I got a pat on the head and a $50 gift card to Target. "For some new clothes, sweetie," Mom said, her voice dripping with that passive-aggressive concern. "You know, to help with job hunting." I laughed it off, forced a joke about how I'd buy a fancy coffee maker to caffeinate my unemployment, but inside, it festered. Like, what the actual fuck? Emily gets a house. A whole-ass property in this market where millennials, like me, were scraping by on ramen and roommate horror stories. And I'm supposed to be thrilled with a card that barely covers a week's groceries? That night, alone in my childhood bedroom with posters of indie bands peeling from the walls, I scrolled through Zillow on my phone, the blue light burning my eyes. Houses like Emily's were going for $400K easy, and my parents had just handed her the keys to one on a silver platter. I'd been the one who'd sacrificed, deferring college loans to help pay for Emily's study abroad that was really just a semester of partying in Europe. I'd covered her car payments when she forgot to budget, picked up the slack at family holidays when she flaked. And for what? A fucking gift card that screamed, "You're the afterthought. Brooklyn. Always will be." But that was just the spark. The real fire? It came weeks later, when I overheard them in the den, Mom, Dad, and Emily, their voices low and conspiratorial like they were plotting a heist. I was padding down the hall for water, barefoot on the creaky hardwood, when I caught it. "She doesn't need to know about the trust fund switch," Emily was saying, her tone all silk and venom. "Brooklyn's fine scraping by. It'll toughen her up." Trust fund? What trust fund? Turns out, Grandma's estate, the one she'd promised to split equally between us granddaughters, had been redirected. Emily's name only, funneled into that house down payment. My parents signed off on it, calling it practical because Emily was starting a family.
Me?
I was independent, which apparently translated to expendable. I confronted them the next morning over coffee that tasted like ash. How could you? I demanded, slamming the mug down so hard it chipped the saucer. Mom's eyes welled up, crocodile tears. I'd learn later, and Dad just sighed. That world-weary exhale he reserved for when I overreacted. Emily breezed in, fresh-faced and flawless, and laid it on thick. Brookie, it's not like that. You're so strong. You don't need handouts like I do. Handouts. As if her entire life hadn't been one giant safety net woven from my frayed threads. We didn't speak for weeks after that. I threw myself into freelance gigs, crashing on friends' couches in Wicker Park, the hipster haven where rent was a punch to the gut, but at least the coffee was artisanal. Emily's wedding loomed like a guillotine, July 20th, at some swanky vineyard an hour out of the city. Invites went out on embossed cardstock, gold foil accents that probably cost more than my monthly phone bill. Mine arrived with a handwritten note. Can't wait to celebrate with you.
Cease. P.S.
Save the date for the housewarming. I crumpled it and tossed it in the recycling. But the rage? It simmered. A low boil that kept me up nights, staring at the ceiling fan whirring like accusations. Then came the call. Late September. Rain lashing the windows of my sublet. Phone buzzing with Mom's name. Brooklyn. Honey. We need to talk. It's Emily. My stomach dropped. Miscarriage, they said. Early. Nothing viable. But Chad was devastated. Emily was a wreck. Could I come home? Family sticks together. Right? I drove through the storm, wipers slapping like judgment, and walked into a house that felt like a mausoleum, photos of smiling Emily everywhere. My high school yearbook shoved in a box in the attic. She was curled on the couch when I got there, pale and hollow-eyed, Chad hovering like a bad cologne. I lost it. Brookie, she whispered, clutching my hand so tight her rings bit into my skin. Our baby.
Lies.
All of it. But back then, I bought it hook,
Line.
and sinker. I stayed, cooked meals, ran errands, played the good sister while they healed. That's when the whispers started. The late-night confessions over wine, Emily's fears about Chad's wandering eye, his pressures at work that made him snap. And me, I became their confessor, their fixer. I dug into Chad's emails when he passed out drunk, affairs, embezzlement from the firm, debts piling up like unpaid IOUs. By Christmas, I was in too deep. Emily begged me to help Chad, to cover a few transactions at my old agency connections. Just this once. For family, she pleaded, tears streaming. I did it, fudged some invoices, laundered a couple grand through ghost clients. It was small potatoes, or so I thought. But greed's a black hole, and Chad's orbit pulled us all in. Emily knew. She orchestrated it, using her grief as bait to keep me compliant. Mom and Dad, they turned a blind eye, too busy doting on their prodigal daughter to notice their other one drowning. The feds came in February. A raid at dawn, badges flashing like lightning, cuffs cold on my wrists as they dragged me out in pajamas. Emily's tear-streaked face at the window, mouthing I'm sorry, but her eyes, cold as Lake Michigan in winter. Chad flipped first, ratting out the whole scheme, pointing fingers at me as the mastermind.
Me?
The patsy who'd done it all for family. Mom and Dad, they lawyered up for Emily, posted bail that same day.
Mine?
A public defender who smelled like stale cigarettes and defeat. Trial was a circus. Tabloids ate it up. Suburban sisters scandal. One falls. One rises. Emily testified. Voice quivering. Painting me as the jealous black sheep who'd always resented her success. The house?
Exhibit?
Proof of her hard work. My gift card? A punchline in cross-exam. The jury bought it. 10 years. Federal pen in Terre Haute. I rotted there. Appeals denied. Birthdays marked by concrete walls and regret. Parole after 7. But freedom tasted like bile. Back in Chicago. Scraping by as a dishwasher in a dive bar. The family had moved on. Emily and Chad divorced quietly. Her with the house and a cushy alimony. Him in some nowhere town. Mom and Dad, we tried.
Brooklyn.
But you made your choices. Last I saw, Emily was at a forced family dinner 6 months ago. Her new fiancé. Some tech bro. Her laughing like nothing happened. I excused myself to the bathroom. Splashed water on my face. And that's when she followed. You should have let it go, she hissed.
Cornering me by the sink.
But you couldn't. Could you? Always the victim. Her hand shot out. Quick as a viper. The paring knife from the holiday block gleaming. One twist. And I was on the floor. Life leaking out as she rifled my purse for my phone. Deleting texts. Staging it as a break-in gone wrong. She called 911 herself. Voice all hysteria. My sister's been stabbed. Hurry. But I saw the truth in her eyes. Relief. Loose end tied.
And now?
I'm back. Heart pounding in my chest, that's mine again. The scar from that knife, a ghost on my skin. June 15th,
2018.
3 months before the barbecue. 6 before the wedding. Emily's still planning her perfect life. Oblivious. Mom and Dad are puttering in the garden. Blind as ever. Chad's just a slick promise on the horizon. This time, I won't play the fool. I'll unravel them thread by thread, expose the trust fund theft, the manipulations, the monster behind Emily's mask. But revenge? It's a dirty word in America. Land of second chances and therapy sessions. One wrong move, and I'm the villain. So I'll be smart. Surgical. And when the house of cards crumbles, I'll be the one holding the match. I start small. That morning, after the mirror shock wears off, I slip downstairs like a shadow. The house still sleeping under the summer sun filtering through lace curtains. Mom's in the kitchen, humming to NPR, flipping pancakes with that absent-minded precision. Morning. Brookie. Sleep okay? Her smile's all warmth. No cracks yet. I force one back, grabbing coffee black, bitter as foresight.
Yeah, Mom. Hey.
Can we talk about Grandma's will? I was thinking about her jewelry box upstairs. It's a probe. Casual as hell. But my pulse thuds like a war drum. She freezes mid-flip. Spatula hovering. Oh, honey. That's all settled. Emily's got the heirlooms. You know she loved Nana more. There it is, the first fracture. I nod.
Sip.
And file it away.
Not yet.
Not like this. By noon, I'm in the attic. Dust motes dancing in shafts of light. Rifling through boxes labeled in Mom's loopy script. Tax returns. Old photos, me as a gap-toothed kid. Emily always front and center. Then, the folder, Estate Matters. Heart slamming. I flip it open. There, the amendment. Dated last year. Signatures fresh as Betrayal. Emily's name bolded. Mine redacted like I was a typo. A sticky note in Dad's scrawl. For her future. Brooke's tough.
Tough. Right.
I snap photos on my phone. Hand steady for the first time in 2 lifetimes. Downstairs. Emily's on the couch. Scrolling bridal Pinterest. Her laugh tinkling like wind chimes. Brookie, come see this cake. Chocolate ganache with edible flowers. To die for. I smile. Teeth gritted. Gorgeous.
Eminência. Hey.
Remember that trip to the lake with Nana? She promised me her locket. Her eyes flicker just a microsecond, but I catch it. Oh.
Yeah.
Must have forgotten. I'll check the safe. Liar. But I let it slide, planting the seed. That night. Over takeout lo mein. I drop another. Saw a listing for that craftsman on Oak Street.
Que?
Right? Bet it'd be perfect for newlyweds. Dad perks up. Fork paused. How do you know about that? Bingo. Mom shoots him a look. But the damage is done. Emily's smile tightens. Just dreaming.
Brookie.
Nothing set in stone. Stone. Like the weight on my chest in that prison cell. Counting cracks in the wall. I excuse myself early, lock my door, and boot up my laptop.
Time to dig.
Chad's LinkedIn first, Junior VP at Sterling Finance. Connections like a web. A quick reverse search on his emails. Old agency hack still works. Thank God. And there it is, flirtations with interns. Expense reports padded with client dinners that scream mistress. But deeper, transfers to offshore accounts. Emily's name buried in the metadata. My fingers fly.
Compilinha dossier.
Screenshots.
Timestamps.
A timeline that paints her not as victim, but puppeteer. She knew about his side hustles before the engagement ring. Hell, she egged them on, using wedding costs as cover. The miscarriage? A convenient stall when the heat turned up. Faked for sympathy. Docs forged by a shady clinic downtown pulled the records in my first life. Too late to matter. Dawn breaks. Coffee cold beside me. And I'm buzzing, not with fear, but fire.
Today.
I call in sick to the agency. Claim a migraine. Real enough. Instead, I drive to the library in Evanston.
Public Wi-Fi Anonymous.
And email a tip to the SEC. And signed. Laced with just enough detail to snag their interest. Irregular transfers. Sterling Finance. Employee C. Hargrove. No mention of Emily.
Yet.
Back home. The tension's a live wire. Mom's baking cookies, stress sugar, and Dad's buried in the garage. Tinkering with his '68 Mustang like it's therapy. Emily corners me in the hall. Arms crossed. That sorority sister poise cracking at the edges. What's with the questions? Brooke? You jealous or something? Her voice is honey over razor blades. I meet her gaze. Steady as a sniper. Just curious.
Eminência.
Family's all we've got. Right? Wouldn't want any. Surprises. She laughs. But it's forced. Echoing hollow. You're so dramatic. Always have been.
Dramatic. Try dead.
But I swallow it.
Nod.
And slip away. Phase 2. The wedding. I RSVP yes. With a +1, a fictional date named Alex. Vague enough to unsettle. Chad's bachelor party leaks online Vegas. Strippers. Coke-fueled haze.
Y foto so papik.
Emily's face pasted on a tabloid headline. Heiress to the honeymoon suite? Anonymous post to a finance forum. Petty? Maybe. But watch the ripples. Weeks blur into a fever dream. Emily's bridal showers pile up, teas, luncheons, registries bursting with Le Creuset and linens. I attend one. A garden party at the country club. Sipping mimosas while aunts coo over her glow. You're next. Brooklyn, 1 trills. And I nearly choke on bubbles. Next? To what? A cardboard box and a restraining order? That's when I meet her inner circle, the bridesmaids. All wasp perfection, whispering about poor Brooklyn's bad luck with men. Bad luck. Try bad family. 1. Sarah, loose-lipped paralegal, pulls me aside during cake. Em's been weird lately. Talking about protecting the family legacy. And that house. Her parents remortgaged theirs for the down payment.
Shuh. Don't tell.
Legacy. The trust fund. No doubt. I file it. Thank her with a hug that smells like Chanel and Chardonnay. Later, nursing a headache in the club bathroom, I overhear Emily on the phone. Chad.
Calm down.
The transfers are clean. Brooke's clueless. Clueless no more. July hits like a heat wave. Humidity thick as resentment. The barbecue looms, the announcement night. I prep like a general, hidden recorder in my purse. A burner phone for backups. Dad grills with extra vigor. Mom's potato salad laced with mayo and denial. Emily arrives fashionably late. Chad's arm like a trophy. Her sundress billowing like a victory flag. We eat. Laugh, surface cracks only. Then, the moment, keys jingling, cheers erupting. I clap along, but my eyes lock on Emily's. A silent promise. To new beginnings, Dad toasts.
Glass raised.
I echo it, voice steady, and buried secrets. Her smile falters. Just a beat. But it's enough. The fallout starts low. A week post-barbecue. Chad's firm calls an internal audit, my SEC tip bearing fruit. He panics. Calls Emily at 2 a.m. I hear it through the wall. Her soothing lies turning to shrieks. Mom knocks on my door next morning. Eyes puffy. Family meeting.
Brookie. Now.
Den's heavy, with unspoken blame. Dad paces. Ty, ask you. Chad's in some trouble at work. Nothing major.
But.
We might need to tighten belts. Emily's silent. Nails digging crescents into her palms. I play dumb. What kind? Like layoffs. Worse, Mom whispers. Fraud allegations. But he's innocent, you know Chad. Innocent. Like the lamb she slaughtered in court. I lean in, all concern.
Ink.
If there's anything I can do. Remember that time I helped with your car payment? Or covered your Europe trip? It's a gut punch. Her flinch visible. That was different, she snaps. Then softens. Thanks.
Cease.
But we're good.
Good. Sure.
That night, I escalate. Email to a PI buddy from my agency days. $500 wire for dirt on the miscarriage. Results ping back fast. Clinic records. A procedure labeled elective termination. Not loss. Timestamp. 2 weeks before her confession. Sympathy bait. Pure and simple. Armed. I confront her alone in the kitchen. Post-dinner dishes steaming.
Ink.
I know about the baby. The real story. Her knife pauses mid-chop. Celery. Innocent enough. What are you talking about? Clinic on Halstead. June 12th. You weren't grieving. You were covering. Her laugh's brittle. You're paranoid.
Brookie.
Jealousy's ugly. Jealous? Of a liar who stole my inheritance? Who'd let her husband frame her sister for prison? The words hang. Knives of their own. She drops the blade. Eyes wide. How? Doesn't matter. What matters is the wedding's off if you don't fix this. Trust fund back.
House.
Sell it. Or I go to mom and dad with everything. It's a bluff wrapped in truth.
My ace.
She crumples. Tears real this time. I did it for us. For the family image. You're the screw-up. I had to shine. Shine on my dime. We hug. It feels like barbed wire, and she whispers promises. I'll make it right.
Just.
Don't ruin this. Ruin? Honey, I'm just getting started. August crawls. Wedding countdown ticking like a bomb. Emily's amends are half measures, a check for $10K, starter on the trust, and vague talks of co-signing the house loan for me. Bullshit. I pocket the cash. Funnel it to a lawyer downtown. One who specializes in estate fraud. Build the case quiet, I instruct. No waves till I say. Chad's unraveling faster. Audit turns to suspension. His calls to Emily frantic voicemails I accidentally hear. She snaps at him over speaker. Fix your mess. Or we're done. Done, like she didn't orchestrate the whole con. I slip in then. The concerned sister. Maybe postpone the wedding? Stress like this. She whirls. Eyes feral.
No.
It's perfect. You'll see.
Perfect.
For who? That night. I hack her email, password still, and Chad forever. Pathetically. Jackpot. Threads with a fixer. Payments for forged docs. Even a draft affidavit blaming me for encouraging Chad's schemes. Preemptive strike. I forward copies to my burner. Timestamped. Mom senses the storm. Girls, what's going on? This house feels like a war zone. War zone.
Apt.
I play peacemaker. Just pre-wedding jitters.
Mom.
Remember my 21st? I was a mess. Lies, I was fine. But it soothes her. Dad's quieter. Nursing a scotch. Muttering about protecting the girls. Protecting Emily. Always. Labor Day weekend. The Bachelorette blows up. Vegas bound. But Emily bails last minute. Flu. Stays home to sort Chad.
Y go solo.
Crash the strip with Sarah the paralegal. Who spills more. Em's been siphoning from the wedding fund for Chad's debts. Your parents don't know. Siphoning. From the very pot they dipped for her house. Back in Chicago. Jet-lagged and loaded. I find Emily packing, frantic. Suitcases half-zipped. What's this? I ask. Casual. Extended vacay.
Chad's.
Complicated. Complicated. Try indicted. News broke that morning. SEC charges. Fraud ring exposed. His face on the local feed. Cuffs glinting. She breaks then. Full ugly cry. It was his idea. The transfers. Everything. I just went along. Like a co-conspirator. You höll her. Rock her like when we were kids. But my mind's a steel trap. We'll fix it.
Eminencia.
Together. Together. The word tastes like poison. September sharpens the blade. Weddings axed. Indefinite postponement. The announcement reads. All euphemisms and champagne toasts canceled. Emily holes up. Therapy sessions and self-care, while mom and dad foot the bill for her grief counseling.
Me?
I volunteer at a women's shelter. Ironic therapy. Learning boundaries from survivors who make my betrayal look like a scraped knee. But I'm not healing. I'm hunting. The lawyer calls. Case airtight. Probate court date set for November. They'll fight, he warns. Emotional leverage. Leverage. Emily's specialty. She tries at Halloween night, costumed as Morticia Addams. Me as Wednesday. Family irony thick as fog.
Pumpkin alle flows.
But midway, she pulls me aside. Brookie. Drop the suit.
For mom.
Her blood pressure. Guilt trip. Vintage 18 model. No, I say. Voice ice. You drop the act. Confess to the feds. Pay back the trust. Or the whole dossier drops press. Prosecutors. The works. Her Morticia wig slips, revealing sweat-slicked roots. You destroy us? Your own blood.
Blood.
The stuff that pooled on the kitchen floor in my other life. You did that first. November dawns crisp. Leaves like confetti from a funeral. Court day arrives. Elmwood Courthouse, a squat brick beast under gray skies. Moms in pearls.
Dat is the estrangeld.
Emily pale as the marble steps. I walk in alone. Lawyer at my side. The $50 gift card tucked in my pocket like a talisman. Reminder of the spark. Testimonies a bloodbath. Dad stammers through the amendment. Thought it best for Emily's stability. Mom weeps. We love you both equally.
Equal. Sure.
Emily takes the stand. Voice quavering. Brooklyn's always been resentful. The house. The wedding. It wasn't to hurt her. Resentful. Try righteous. My turn. I stand tall. No notes. Just truth uncoiling like smoke. It wasn't about the house. It was the lie.
The theft.
And later, when Chad's crimes caught fire, she let me burn for it. Falsified docs. Perjured testimony. 10 years of my life for her legacy. Gasps ripple. Judge's gavel cracks like thunder. Cross-exams brutal. Emily's lawyer paints me as vengeful. Unstable. Isn't it true? Emma's. Harper. You had a breakdown after the trial? Breakdown. Prison slang for survival. I lean in. No.
Sir.
That was called injustice. Recess hits. Hallway thick with tension. Mom corners me. Stop this.
Brooklyn.
You're tearing us apart.
Tearing.
Like the knife. You tore first.
Mom.
With every favoritism. Every blind eye. Verdict drops post-lunch. Trust restored. With interest. House lien in my name till restitution. Emily's ordered to cooperate with feds. Plea deal pending. She glares daggers as we file out. But there's fear too.
Good.
December's a thaw. Snow dusting the suburbs like sugar on ash. Chad's plea. 5 years. Out in 3 with good behavior. Emily's charged as accessory. House arrest in the very home that started it all. Ankle monitor clinking like karma's jewelry. Mom and dad? Counseling. Mandated family sessions where truths ooze like old wounds.
Me?
I buy a condo downtown, view of the lake. Rent controlled. My first real perch. Freelance booms, turns out. Marketing scandals sell. Emily visits once. Post-Christmas. Bundled in cashmere. Eyes hollow. I hate you, she whispers. Hugging goodbye. Hates a mirror.
Eminência.
Look closer. New Year's Eve. Alone on my balcony. Fireworks blooming over the city like false promises.
I'm alive, truly.
This time. No blood. No bars. But victory's bittersweet. A cocktail of what-ifs. Did I go too far? The courts. The leaks. America loves a redemption arc. But mine's gray. Controversial as hell. Friends whisper ruthless. Family fractures linger. Yet as the clock strikes, I raise a glass to second chances, sharp as switchblades. The end? Not tragic. Not quite happy. Just real. And mine. Wait, no. That's not how it unravels. Or is it? Back in that first life.
Postparole.
I'd romanticized the revenge. Dreamed of Emily's fall from grace, like some Lifetime movie climax. But reality? It's messier. Stickier. With loose ends that snag like cheap stockings. This second chance isn't a clean slate, it's a palimpsest. Old ink bleeding through. Take the morning after the courtroom win. I'm buzzing out of the county clerk's office. Papers crisp in my briefcase. When my phone dings, not the lawyer, but an unknown number. We need to talk. About Emily. S. Sarah. The bridesmaid paralegal. Coffee at a dive on Clark Street. Steam rising from mismatched mugs like unspoken sins. She's jittery, stirring sugar into black like it's absolution. I saw the verdict online. Ballsy move. Brooklyn. Her smile's wry, but her eyes dart, guilty. Look.
Eminência.
She didn't just go along with Chad. She ran point. The offshore stuff? Her idea. To diversify the wedding budget. Budget. For a $50K venue and a dress that could feed a family of 4 for a year. I sip. Scalding. Why tell me now? She shrugs. Nails bitten raw. Conscience. And self-preservation. She dragged me into faking a deposition once, swore I'd lose my license if I talked. But you're out, she's not. Just. Watch your back. Back. The one that arched in agony on that kitchen floor. I thank her. Slip a 20 under the saucer. And walk into the wind-whipped loop. Skyscrapers looming like judgmental gods. Watch my back. I've got eyes in the past now. Home. My temporary crash pad. A studio above a laundromat that hums like distant thunder is a warren of takeout boxes and legal pads. I spread the new intel. Sarah's affidavit. Sketched out on a napkin. Timelines cross-referenced with my dossier. Emily's not just accessory, she's architect. The trust fund switch? Practice run for bigger cons. Grandma's money seeded Chad's first wire, laundered through a bridal registry shell company. Harper Happily Ever After LLC.
Que?
I call the lawyer. Voice steady. Add this. Push for full charges. He hesitates. Brooklyn. It's solid. But piling on makes you look vindictive. Vindictive. The American sin. Especially for women. Good, I say. Let them see the monster she made. Monster. That's what they called me in prison. The quiet ones who snapped. But Emily? She was the ghost in the machine, charming her way through audits, batting lashes at investigators. In my first life, she walked, community service, a tearful interview on some true crime pod. My sister's pain broke me.
Broke.
As if she hadn't wielded the hammer. Afternoon fades to therapy, mine voluntary this time.
Dr.
Lena's office smells of chamomile and leather, her questions probing like dental tools. Anger as fuel.
Brooklyn.
But what happens when it burns out? I laugh.
Bitter.
Then I rebuild. On their ashes. She nods. No judgment. Chicago shrinks our prose at the gray. Revenge narratives are seductive. But closure? That's the twist.
Twist.
Like the knife. Or the one coming. I leave with homework. Journal the good memories. Emily and me. 8 and 10. Biking to the Dairy Queen. Sticky cones melting in summer heat.
Good.
Buried under layers of grudge. Evening brings mom's call, voicemail. Voice wobbly. Come for dinner? Just us girls. Emily's. Resting. Resting. Under house arrest. Probably scrolling Zillow for escape hatches.
Ego.
Stealing for the ambush. The house is dimmer. Curtains drawn like shame. Mom's in the kitchen. Stirring soup with mechanical arms. Dad's absence a ghost golf retreat. His coping. Emily's at the table.
No muck-up.
Hair a nest. Brookie. It's a whisper. Plea wrapped in poison. We eat in silence. Spoons clinking accusations. Then, Mom, the judge was harsh. Emily's cooperating.
But.
The feds want more. You're doing? Her eyes accuse. Maternal shield up. I set down the bowl. Truth's harsh.
Mom.
She stole from me from us. And let me rot for it. Emily flinches. I was scared. Chad threatened. Threatened what? To leave? You ran the show.
Eminencia.
The docs. The lies. Sarah confirmed. Her face drains Sarah. The weak link. That bitch. Truth hurts. I echo her old line. Mom weeps then. Napkin to mouth. Families forgive. We can fix this. Sell the house. Split it even.
Even.
After years of odd?
No.
She faces it. All of it. I stand, chair scraping judgment. Emily's eyes follow. Hatred simmering. You'll regret this.
Brookie.
Blood's thicker. Thicker than the lies you told on that stand? Doubt it. Outside. Sleet stings like barbs. Regret?
Not yet.
But the seeds planted doubt. America's favorite fertilizer for second-guessing. Days bleed into weeks. Winter gripping the city like a grudge. My freelance gig explodes. A true crime blog wants my story, anonymized but juicy. I write it raw. The gift card slight. The trust betrayal. The frame job finale. Hits viral. Comments a cesspool. Savage Queen versus. Bitter much? Move on. Polarizing. As American as apple pie fights. Emily's plea hearings public. Reporters swarm the courthouse like vultures. I sit in back. Incognito in a hoodie. Watching her shuffle in. Monitor beeping softly. DA lays it out. Conspiracy. White fraud.
Perjury.
Her lawyer spins tears. A young woman pressured by a toxic partner. Toxic.
Chad.
Sure. But the enabler? Judges stern. Gray hair like steel wool. Remorse. Emma's. Harper. She nods. Voice breaking. I hurt my sister most. I'll make amends. Amends. The check was a start. Now. Restitution orders fly. Full trust payback.
Plus dommage.
House auctioned. Proceeds split. Mom gasps from the gallery. I exhale. First real breath since the reboot. Post-hearing, she finds me in the hall, reporters snapping, flashes blinding. Why won't you stop? She hisses, close enough for perfume to choke. I said sorry. Sorry's cheap.
Eminência.
Justice costs. A bailiff pulls her back. She spits. You'll be alone. No family left. Alone. The prison echo. But as I walk free into flurrying snow, phone buzzing with blog pings, I think, better alone than chained. Christmas looms, fraught as a minefield. Mom's invites trickle, small gathering, for healing. Healing. Like a wound cauterized with salt. I decline. Opt for a solo tree, twinkling lights on a ficus. Ornaments from thrift bins. Gifts to shelter friends, diapers, coats, real needs. New Year's. Though, twist knocks uninvited. Dad calls. Voice gravel. Your mother's had a stroke.
Come.
Brooklyn. Please.
Stroke.
Stress-induced. Docs say, the trial's toll. I drive through blackout streets, hospital fluorescents buzzing like flies. She's frail in the bed, tubes snaking, eyes fluttering open.
Brookie.
Weak.
But there.
Dad's wrecked, holding her hand like it'll anchor. Emily's absent. Flu, he mutters.
Flu.
Or cowardice. We sit vigil. Beep's the only talk. Dawn breaks. Her grip tightens on mine. Forgive. For me. Forgive. The words a blade. Twisting old scars. I do.
Mom.
But forgetting? That's on Emily. She nods. Tears tracking. Dad's silent. But later, in the cafeteria coffee sludge, you were right. About the favoritism.
We.
Failed you.
Failed.
Admission's a crack in the dam. Fix it. Support her through this, real support. No more golden child. He nods. Weary. Trying. Emily shows 2 days later. Faced with lilies. Mom. I'm here. But her eyes flick to me, wary, waiting for the strike. I ignore. Focus on Mom's smile. Fragile as tissue. Discharge brings fragile peace. Home nursing. I rotate shifts. Awkward truces over broth and bad TV. Emily and I orbit. No words. Just glances loaded like guns. One night, post-bedtime, she corners me in the den. Truce? For Mom.
Truce.
Tempting. The easy out. Not truce. Accountability. Plead guilty.
Serve time.
Then talk. Her laugh's hollow. You'd send your sister to prison? Again? Again? You sent me first. Stalemate. January thaws the ice. But not the chill. Mom rallies. PT sessions and family bonding. Board games where laughter's forced. Emily's sentencing nears. Spectre over pie. The night before, she cracks, wine loose, on the couch. It started small. The house pressure, Chad's dream. Then the trust. Easy fix. Right?
But you always saw through me.
Jealous. Prying. Jealous. The accusation's old.
But now?
Pitiful. Not jealous.
Hurt.
And you doubled down the frame. The knife. I whisper it. First time voicing the death. Her eyes widen. What knife? The slip. In this life. It hasn't happened. My reboot's secret. Figurative, I cover. Heart hammering. The betrayal cut deep. She buys it. Slumps. I am sorry. Really?
Sorry.
Step 1. Sentencing dawns rainy. She gets 3 years federal camp, minimum security, model inmate potential. Hugs in the pen. Mom sobs. Dad's stoic nod. Emily's eyes meet mine. Wait for me?
Wait.
Like I waited in a cell. Live first.
Eminência.
Earn it. Spring blooms as she fades. Letters sporadic. Rehabbing platitudes. Mom sells the house. Splits proceeds. My half cedes a down payment on that condo. Dad volunteers at the shelter with me. Quiet amends. Summer solstice. 1 year post-reboot. I'm on my balcony. Lake breeze salty. A beer sweating in hand. Phone pings Emily's first postcard. Miss you. Changing.
Changing.
Maybe.
The twist?
No grand by karma. Just life. Incremental. Controversial? Hell yes, friends call me cutthroat. Therapy unpacks the toxicity. But as fireworks crackle distant, I toast the girl in the mirror. Survivor. Not saint. Brooklyn Harper. Version 2.0. Unbelievably unbroken. Unbroken? That's the lie I tell myself in the quiet hours. When the city's hum fades to a whisper and doubt creeps in like fog off the lake. Version 2.0 sounds sleek. Upgraded, but it's glitchy. Riddled with phantom pains from a life that never was. Or was it? The reboot's edges blur sometimes. Memories bleeding across timelines like watercolors in rain. Did Emily really stab me? Or was that the metaphor I built to justify the war? Doesn't matter. The hurt's real, etched deeper than any scar. Post-sentencing. The family's a fractured mosaic, pieces that don't fit neat anymore. Mom's recovery's a slow burn. PT turning her from invalid to iron. But the guilt clings like humidity. I favored her, she confesses one afternoon over herbal tea. Hands trembling on the cup. Emily was easier. You challenged us.
Challenged.
Code for made us face our shit. I nod. Stirring honey, sweetener for the bitter. And now, equal ground. She reaches. Palm rough from rehab grips. Trying.
Brookie. God.
Trying. Dad's the wild card. Retreating to his garage sanctuary. Wrenching on that Mustang like it's absolution. He shows up unannounced one Saturday. Toolbox in hand. At my new condo build site. Wait.
No.
I'm renting still. But dreaming big. Thought you could use a hand, he grunts. Eyeing the leaky faucet I cursed all week. We tinker in silence. Oil under nails. Radio crooning classic rock. Springsteen wailing about ghosts in the heartland. Mid-wrench. He breaks. The gift card. Stupid. Meant to motivate. Not diminish. Motivate. To what? Destitution? I snort.
But soft.
It did. Pushed me here. Here, independent, but isolated. No Sunday dinners.
No sibling texts.
Just me, the lake, and a Rolodex of acquaintances who smell opportunity over friendship. Emily's letters arrive like clockwork, monthly missives from Alderson. That camp for white-collar witches. Hers start wrote, classes on ethics ironic. Huh. Then deepen. Remember the fort in the backyard? You always let me be queen.
Queen.
Her default. But there's vulnerability now. Cracks in the crown. Therapy's peeling layers. I was scared of failing, of not being enough. You were the strong one. I stole that.
Strong.
The myth they peddled to justify neglect. I write back sparse. Keep healing. Truth's under there. No forgiveness yet. That's earned, not gifted. Work surges. The blog piece spawning a podcast deal. Betrayed bonds. My voice modulated. Story anonymized but raw. Episodes drop weekly. Listener voicemails flood. My sibling stole my inheritance. You're my hero.
Hero.
Or villain.
Depending on the feed.
Troll swarm. Feminazi ruining family values. American as fuck. Cheer the underdog. Then crucify her for biting back. One call stands out. Anonymous tip line ping. Voice distorted. Harper? Dig deeper on the clinic. Not just Emily, your parents knew.
Knew.
About the miscarriage fake out. My blood chills. Lake wind sudden gale. I call Sarah. The paralegal lifeline. Record subpoena.
Discreet.
Results hit email midnight. Consult notes. Mom's signature on consent forms. Guardian cosign for financial privacy. They covered. Buried the elective abortion to spin the sympathy tale. For Emily's image, the wedding's flawless facade. Rage reboils. Hot as fresh coffee. Confrontation brews. Dinner invite. Neutral turf. Giordano's. Deep dish steaming between us. Mom's wary. Dad's fork pauses mid-bite. What is it? Brooke, he asks. Sausage slice dangling. I slide printouts across. Sauce staining edges. The baby. You knew it wasn't a loss. And helped hide it. Mom's fork clatters. Eyes wide. It was complicated, Emily's choice. Private. Private? You used it to manipulate me. The grief, the favors, it was all a hook. Dad's face reddens. Napkin twist. We protected her. From judgment. Scandal like the one you let me take the fall for? Voices rise. Diner heads turning. Classic Chicago theater. Mom whispers. We're sorry. Again. What more? More?
Testify.
To the feds. The truth about the cover-up. Dad box. Ruin us all? For what? Vengeance. Vengeance. The words a slap. Echoing prison yard taunts. Not vengeance.
Justice.
The kind you denied me. I stand, uneaten crust mocking. Choose her lies. Or our truth. They choose silence, stony, stewing. But cracks form. A week later, DA calls. New affidavits incoming. Your folks. Progress. Prickly as thistle. Emily hears. Her next letter frantic. Mom and Dad turning? Don't let them. We're Harpers. Harpers. The name's tarnished now. A byline in fraud files. Summer heats. My podcast peaks. Top 10 true crime.
Sponsor books rolling.
I hire a manager. I a book deal. Unbelievably betrayed. Titles hooky. Controversial. Talk shows beckon. But I dodge. Wary of the spotlight's burn. Twist sharpens mid-July. Chad's appeal hearing. He's out on bond. Slicker than ever. New suit screaming innocence. Reporters tip me off. He's shopping a tell-all. Painting Emily as mastermind. Me as enabler. Enabler. The irony's a gut punch. I crash the courthouse. Back row again. Hoodie up. His testimony's oil. Brooklyn knew everything. Pushed the schemes for sisterly solidarity. Lies. Slick as his hair. But the judge buys enough for reduced sentence. 2 years. Probation. Outside. He spots me, smirk curling. Hey, sis-in-law. Miss me? Venom drips. I step close. Voice low. Tell your book ghost. I have tapes. Yours and Emily's. Push it. And you're both footnotes. His smirk fades. Eyes darting. Bluff. But he bolts. Tail between legs. Small win. But the rush? Addictive. August brings reconciliation's ghost. Mom calls. Weekend at the lake house? Just family. Lake house, Nana's old cabin. Neutral ground. Memories thick as mosquitoes. I agree. Cautious. Baggage checked. But heavy. Drive up scenic. I-94 hugging dunes. Radio blasting indie folk to drowned outs. They arrive separate. Mom and Dad in the SUV. Emily paroled early for good behavior. Chauffeured in a rental. She's thinner. Hair cropped practical.
No makeup mask.
Brookie. Hug stiff. Bones like accusations. Cabin's time capsule. Wood paneling. Mothball scent. Lake lapping like whispers. We cook out. Burgers charring on the ancient grill. Beer cans sweating. Talk scheme surface. Weather. Work. Mom's garden. Then, dusk falls. Fireflies winking. And Emily cracks the dam. I read your pod scripts smuggled in.
Proud.
In a fucked up way.
Proud.
From her, progress. I poke the fire. Sparks rising. Miss the old US? Every day. But I broke it. Admissions raw.
No qualifiers.
Mom tears up. Dad nods. Silent sage. Night deepens. Loons calling. And we talk real. The favoritism's roots, Mom's own sister envy. The trust theft's desperation, Emily's fear of ordinary. My rage's forge, prison's isolation.
No fixies.
Just air, stale. But circulating. Morning hike. Path crunching under boots. Emily lags. The knife thing. What did you mean? Flashback hits my slip.
Dream.
Bad one.
Lie.
But close. She buys. Squeezes my arm. No more bad dreams. Promise.
Promise.
Fragile as birch bark. Back in city grind. The thaw holds, weekly calls. No drama. Podcast wraps season 1. Book deal links. Advance covers the condo down. Life normalizes. But the edge lingers. Controversy clings. Dates ghosting when they Google Brooklyn Harper fraud. Fall foliage peaks. Twist uncoils gentle. Emily's release date nears. Pick me up, letter asks. I do. Alderson gates swinging open like Judgment Day reversed. She's in jeans. Duffel light. Hug fierce. Home. Home. The words loaded. But we drive. Silence companionable. Lake forgotten. Dinner's takeout Thai. My place, spicy noodles. Tears optional. What's next? I ask. Chopsticks clacking. Amends.
Real ones.
Therapy. Restitution. You.
You.
The word bridges. Winter whispers in. But warmth creeps, holidays tentative. Tree trimming with Mom's ornaments. Dad's bad jokes. Emily crashes couch. Job hunting.
No handouts.
New Year's. We toast on the balcony. To versions 3.0. Laughter bubbles.
Real.
But the controversial core? It simmers. Forgiveness isn't erasure. It's armistice. I sleep sounder, but wake vigilant. Betrayal scar. Faint, but felt. Unbelievably. We're mending. Messy. American style. Mending. That's the polite fiction. The one we peddle at therapy check-ins and awkward brunches. But let's call it what it is, triage. Emily's out. Rehabilitated on paper. Crashing my couch like a prodigal with a rap sheet. The condo's a pressure cooker, her job apps piling rejections. My freelance deadlines wishing past. Mom's check-ins laced with, how's our girl? Our girl. Singular.
Still.
First week. It's civil. She cooks, burnt toast redemption, scrubs counters with manic vigor. Building character, she quips. Sponge sudsing like confession. I nod.
Typen podscripts.
But the air's thick, unspoken landmines from the trust to the trial. Landmine 1 detonates Thursday. Mail slot clatters. Certified envelope, Chad's tell-all galleys. Courtesy review from his sleazy publisher. Pages dog-eared. Highlights screaming libel. Brooklyn, the shadow sister, orchestrated the fraud from her basement lair. Basement.
Try my blood-sweat equity job.
Emily snatches it. Face ashen. He's full of shit. Full enough to sue? I ask. Pen tapping. She deflates. Lawyers drained us.
But
I can talk to him.
Talk.
As if words fix the knife. She does burner call. Voice recorder rolling. Habit now. Chad's oily. Emmy.
Babe.
It's business. Your part's tragic victim. Brooks the heel.
Hail.
Wrestling villain. She pushes. Cut my name. Or the tapes drop yours. Moaning about the wires. Moaning. EW. But effective. He caves. Chapters redacted. Book DOA.
Small victory.
But the rush bonds us. High five over pizza. Laughter cracking ice. Team Harper, she toasts. Box slice raised. Harper 2.0. I correct. Teams 2 football. We're gladiators.
Scarred.
Week 2. Mom hosts reunion dinner, neutral ground. Her new apartment smelling of roast and regret. Dad's there. Tie loose. Bringing wine. Peace offering. Table set fancy. China from the old house. Ghosts included. Talk flows cautious. Emily's temp gig at a bookstore, grateful. My book tour buzz, terrifying. Then, Dad clears throat. About the clinic. We were wrong. Signed off to help, but it enabled. Enabled. The enabler echo. Mom nods. Eyes down. Won't happen again. Emily's turn. Voice steady. I weaponized it. The grief act. Pulled you in.
Brookie.
For the covers.
Covers.
Fraud's blanket. I swallow wine.
Tort.
Knew that. Question is, why?
Why?
She laughs. Brittle.
Fear.
Of losing the shine. The house. The life. You were the rock. I was the fraud.
Fraud.
Literal. Silence choose. Then Mom. We all were. Favoritism's a chain.
Chain.
Prison's echo. We clink glasses. Awkward. But alchemy turns tension to truce. Post-dinner. Emily and I walk home. City lights haloed in fog. That wasn't so bad, she says. Breath puffing. Not bad. But real talk? The gift card stung first. Made me invisible. Invisible. The root rot. She stops under street lamp. glow yellow on her face. I picked it. Pushed Mom. Brooke doesn't need much. She's practical. Petty jealousy. My perfect. Wedding trumping your struggle. Struggle. Glamorized poverty. I nod.
Cold seeping.
And the trust. Escalation. Thought you'd never notice. Notice. Like I was blind. We resume. Boots scuffing. Notice now. I ask. Trying. Bookstores entry level.
But.
Honest.
Honest.
Novel. Spring unfurls. Cherry blossoms pink confetti on sidewalks. Emily Landsteady, junior editor at a indie press. Commuting by L train rattling like resolve. I tore the book. Unbelievably betrayed. Signings in indie shops from Milwaukee to Madison. Crowds swell, women mostly. Eyes fierce. My brother's the golden child. Thanks for the blueprint. Blueprint. For boundaries, not bombs. But controversy dogs. Fox affiliate op-ed blasts sibling schadenfreude. When victims become tormentors. Tormentor.
Ouch.
Podcast backlash 2. Brooklyn's too bitter. Real heroes forgive fast.
Forgive fast.
As if wounds heal on microwave. Emily clips the article. Leaves it on the counter with a post-it. They're wrong. Proud of your slow burn. Slow burn. My revenge arc. Tempered. Twist coils May Day. Nana's locket surfaces. Emily hands it over coffee. Chain tangled like veins. Found it in storage. Yours. Always was. Always. The promise unbroken. I clasp it. Silver warm. Why now? A men's list. Number 3. Return what's stolen.
List.
Structured contrition. Summer simmers. Us settling into rhythm. Brunch Sundays. Mom's garden plots shared. Dad's Mustang rides with top down. Wind whipping regrets. Emily dates cautious. A barista with tattoos and trust issues. I swipe right on a pod producer. Sparks but no fire. Labor Day barbecue. Ironic echo. At a park.
No backyard baggy.
Grills sizzle. Kids chase frisbees. Family expanded. Sarah the paralegal. Toasting Survivor Squad. Emily laughs free. No edge. Miss the old barbecues?
Some.
Not the announcements. Jab light. But she winces.
Fair.
To new ones, no houses. Just hot dogs. Hot dogs. Equal ground. Fall colors blaze. Book climbs charts. Controversial crown. TV bites. Good morning, Chicago. Me and Blazer. Host probing. Was revenge worth the family rift? Worth the truth, I say. Camera unflinching. Rift. Healing.
But raw.
Emily watches live. Texts post-show. Nailed it. Dinner? My treat.
Treat.
Her first paycheck splurge. We hit deep dish. Sauce dripping stories. Her camp tales. Yoga with XOS. My tour mishaps signing Brooklyn on a fan's arm. Laughter flows.
Real.
Winter hints. But twist waits Thanksgiving. Mom's table. Full again. Turkey carves. Grace said. Then Emily stands. A word. Room hushes. This year. I broke us. But you're rebuilding me. Thank you. Tears. Hers hugs. Collective. Post-feast. Porch, swing creaking. She leans. The knife dream, tell me. Phantom rises. In another life.
You ended me.
For loose ends. Half-truth. Eyes locked. Her breath hitches. I'd never. Never. Present tense. I know. Now. Bridge built. New Year's Eve. Balcony duo. Champagne pops. City roars. To glitches fixed, she toasts. To sequels better.
Pop.
Unbelievably. We're kin again. Flawed. Fierce. Forward. Forward. The words a compass now, pointing past the wreckage to whatever skyline waits. But America's no fairy tale, happily ever after's a myth peddled in rom-coms, not the gritty reboot of a betrayed sister's life. Emily and I, we're not mended porcelain. We're kintsugi, gold-veined cracks on display. Beautiful? Maybe. Brittle? Definitely. January kicks off with momentum. Her editing gig promotes. Associate. She beams over takeout sushi. First real raise.
Mine?
Podcast renews. Season 2 greenlit. Betrayed bonds. The reckoning. Listeners crave the after. Forgiveness arcs. Redemption real or rigged. I deliver raw. Episodes on gaslighting grandparents. Cousin cons. My voice steady, but scarred. Families orbit steadies. Bi-weekly dinners at mom's. Recipes rotated. Emily's lasagna. My chili. Dad's famous Jell-O salad. Talk turns tentative futures. Mom's travel dreams. Italy.
Sans drama.
Dad's retirement tinkering. Hot rod club.
No harperegos.
Emily floats grad school creative writing. Ironic twist on her spun tales. Penance prose, she jokes, but eyes earnest.
Me?
Dating ventures. Pod producer fizzles, too meta. Bar me cute ghosts, too intense. Single suits. Space to breathe, lake runs at dawn. Podcasts in my ears. Locket bouncing chest. Controversy crests February. Chad's book flops. Redacted to pablum. Reviews savage. Tepid tell-all from a tepid crook. He sues Emily for defamation, but her countersuit, tapes as exhibit, crushes it. Settlement. His silence.
Her peace.
She celebrates small. Tattoo. Delicate locket outline on wrist. Match yours. Sister Inc.
Sister Inc. Vont être permanent.
Spring stirs old ghosts. Nana's anniversary, cemetery visit. Lilacs wilting on stone. We four stand. Wind off the bluff whipping veils. Mom places flowers. Miss your fairness.
Ma.
Fairness. The lost art. Emily whispers. Sorry I tarnished it.
Tarnished.
Her thefts echo. Drive back. Emily's shotgun. What if? We sued back. The parents. For the clinic cover?
Souhait.
Familial Armageddon. No. I say. We'll tight. Truth's out. Let karma collect.
Karma. Slow.
But sure. She nods. Radio up. Taylor Swift crooning Bad Blood.
Fitting.
Summer swelters. Book tour redux. Coasts now. Seattle rains to LA sun. Emily tags One Stop NYC. Her press connections. Hotel bar post reading. Fans fawning. She toasts to the villain who won. Villain. My crown. Contested. Back home. Twist tightens gentle. Pregnancy scare. Her barista beau panics. Test negative. But talk turns deep. Kids. Legacies. Cycles. I'd be better, she vows. No golden lies. Better. Possible. Fall harvest. Podcast peaks e minut. Surreal. Ceremonies glitz. My dress vintage, irony. Family in seats, mom dabbing tears, dad fidgeting, Emily glowing proxy proud. Win or lose, nom only, but speech slot. This for the betrayed, who rebuild, not revenge, rebuild. Mantra now. Winter wraps, holidays heartfelt, tree with mismatched ornaments, gifts thoughtful, her, journal for truth pages, mine, locket chain, reinforced. New Year's, full circle, balcony, but crowd, mom,
Dad.
Sarah,
Bu.
fireworks bloom. Dos zasad, do harpers unbelievably. Laughter rings.
Real.
Emily pulls me aside. The other life, you glimpsed it? Enough. Secret shared. Half. Glad we rewrote. Our sequel. As clock strikes, arms linked. I think, not happy ever after, but happily now. Controversial? In a world of quick fixes. Yes, our slow scars scandalous. Tense, always, under skin. But alive. Allied. Ascending. Brooklyn and Emily, sisters. Survivors. Unbelievably unbound.